The Democrat swamp knows no bounds. It's a tough time to be a Democrat voter. You believe in a candidate. You believe in Tulsi or Andrew Yang. You believe in Bernie Sanders. You believe in Amy Klobuchar. You believe in Elizabeth Warren. And you go out there and you put in your vote for your candidate only to have it uprooted by the establishment. It's got to be a tough thing. We all know back in 2016, Hillary Clinton worked with the DNC the DNC favored her over Bernie Sanders. And so they did all kind of underhanded things to make it easier for her to win the primary. And Bernie Sanders was cheated. Bernie Sanders does have his own movement of the Bernie Bros. And in that way, he's very similar to Donald Trump. He comes off as an outsider, even though he's been in politics for over 30 years, like 40 years. So he isn't an outsider. He's just pretending to be one. But unlike Donald Trump, he is not a strong person. He was cheated by Hillary Clinton. He was cheated by the DNC. He bowed his head and kissed the ring after she won the primary and cheated him out of it. He went on with the whole Russia narrative. Even now, Elizabeth Warren has come out and said some very disgusting things about him. And he just doesn't have that natural instinct to bite back. I guess he's like the constant flight character. If you get into a situation, it's fight or flight. He's always flight. And that's very unattractive to a lot of American voters. Donald Trump, he does not flight at all. He's fight, 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 and that's why people love him. So he's like Donald Trump in one way, and in another way, he's the total opposite. Now, here we are in 2020. Democrats voting in the Iowa caucuses have been shafted again by what appears to be an error, a glitch in the system. Now, there's an application called Shadow that was used to tabulate these votes. Apparently, they say it wasn't a hack. They say it was just an algorithmic issue, and we got to wait till later on. It might, as of 4:39 p.m., there still has not been a declared winner in the Iowa caucuses. But we're to believe that just randomly this whole situation is occurring and no one is batting an eye. All the Democrats have come out and said, hey, I won. I did good. Pete Buttigieg came out, Elizabeth Warren, Amy Klobuchar, Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders. They've all spoke out last night during the caucuses waiting for the votes. And they basically gave victory speeches. But we all know that there was one person in the lead in Iowa, and that person was Bernie Sanders. Democrats loathe Bernie Sanders. Well, the establishment. Many Democrats now, the voters, have moved away from the Democrat establishment onto a more left-leaning political perspective with Bernie Sanders, and the establishment can't deal with it. They do not want Bernie Sanders to win. They don't want Bernie Sanders to uproot what the Democrats, what the party has meant, what it has been, and they don't want socialist perspectives permeating through the highest office in the land. So they are trying. Look what they're doing with Bloomberg. They're doing everything they can, the DNC, to put Bloomberg back into the debates, letting him buy his way in. They want Joe Biden to be the front runner, even though he's not. They would take Pete Buttigieg over Bernie Sanders. The establishment would. And so we all know in Iowa, all polls showed that Bernie Sanders had a very strong chance to win the caucus there. And with this whole situation where this program Shadow has malfunctioned, it seems like it's to cover for someone, in my perspective. Joe Biden was projected to be not doing so well in Iowa. Third or fourth place behind Elizabeth Warren, Pete Buttigieg, and of course Bernie Sanders. Third or strong fourth. Joe Biden can save face now and say that this issue, this Shadow program, was faulty, and even if he loses, he can say, well, I don't believe the votes. I think that there was an issue with it, and I think someone messed with it. I think that this organization saved Joe Biden, and on top of that, Bernie Sanders shafted once again out of the Iowa caucuses, which he barely lost to Hillary Clinton in 2016. Now, earlier in the year, last year, Moody's Analytics had projected multiple models of the 2020 general, and they predicted that Donald Trump would win multiple landslide victories. And one of the catalysts, one thing that would change Donald Trump winning was if there was huge Democrat turnout. Now, the Iowa caucuses are the first chances for Democrats to come out and vote for who they want to run in the general. And apparently, the Democrats are not very enthusiastic. They're not really turning out. And this is really, really bad signs for the Democrats and really good signs for conservatives and for Donald Trump. Because Donald Trump, he did have a caucus last night. And he won 97, 98% of the vote and smashed the other contenders who were foolishly stepping into the ring with a giant. This is on CNN Politics. Early Iowa turnout signs point to lagging Democratic enthusiasm. There's still a lot we don't know about the 2020 Iowa Democratic caucuses, including who won the contest, which is truly a shame. But we do have an early indication about turnout. The Iowa Democratic Party said Monday night that early data showed it looked to be on pace with 2016 when 172,000 people showed up to the caucuses. If that trend holds, it'll be disappointing to Democrats who were hoping that a desire among those in their party to defeat President Trump in November would produce a turnout closer to nearly 240,000 who caucused in 2008. The lack of a large turnout is the latest sign that Democrats may not be as nearly as enthusiastic now as they were heading into the midterm elections. Well, it's tough. It's really hard to be a Democrat right now because the party has cannibalized itself. You got the far left, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who may be primarying Chuck Schumer, and this young lady has stepped up to the pedestal and basically taken over the Democrat Party with far left ideology, brainless mathematics on finance, and she has no idea how we're going to pay for anything. She makes asinine comments all the time. So you got this far left wing of the Democrat Party, which Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez said herself, in any other country she wouldn't even be in the Democrat Party. And you got the moderate Democrats who still believe in the status quo. The Joe Bidens, the Pete Buttigieg, the Elizabeth Warrens. It's a faction versus a faction in the Democrat Party. The Bernie bros and the people who support Bernie Sanders, I can respect that. I can honestly respect it. That you want some change. You want someone who could uproot the old system and put something new in place, whether it works or not. But the far left, those people who want to vote for the AOCs, the Bernie Sanders, they will not vote for an establishment candidate. And the moderate Democrats will never vote for a socialist. And so these people are confused. If I were to vote for, an Amy Klobuchar and she didn't win the nomination, and I was a Democrat, I could not pull myself to vote for Bernie Sanders because I do not believe in his policies. I think that they are antithetical to American society and what's made this country great. So it's like I'd either stay home and protest or I'd vote for what's happening now, who's leading the country now, and this continued prosperity, and vice versa. If I was a leftist and I wanted all these far left ideologies, and I see what's happening now with the Iowa caucuses, and I see what happened last time with Bernie Sanders and Hillary, and Bernie does not get the nomination, I would stay home and protest because I wouldn't be for the cheating. The Democrat Party is in a civil war. And thank God Donald Trump was able to bring the Republican Party together the way he has. I don't believe that Bernie Sanders could bring the Democrat Party together, and I don't believe an establishment candidate like Bloomberg or Joe Biden could bring all the Democrats together. It's looking like it's going to be a huge landslide victory for Donald Trump in November. And I'm super excited to cast my vote. And my wife is, and my family is, because we love the prosperity, we love the security, we love the unemployment, we love the jobs everywhere around us in this great nation. You guys let me know what you think in the comments below. Be sure to give a thumbs up to help this channel grow. Share it on social media. Share with all your friends. And as always, we do this for the Republic. I'll see you guys next time.